Another way of looking at all of this, and I don't know if this is bothering you or not, but people say when they realize what it's really about and where they go, and it's so extremely beautiful over there, their home, and they're so happy that you wouldn't feel bad about it. So there's a whole lot more to it, but Julie, you back there? You want to get the microphone? And I've got time for some questions anyway. But there's a lot because I don't think there's any, some questions I wait because they're pretty serious. And so if I give a longer lecture, we try to cover a lot of these. So just cover as many questions as we can real quickly here. Okay. Well, go over there first. They had their hands up first. Okay. But it's a lot to this anyway. Okay. And I've spoken in Unity churches about this, and the ashram said this fits in exactly with their beliefs too. Yep.
This is kind of a silly question, but when you're out traveling and astral traveling at night, and it comes that 3 a.m. time that you have to get up and go to the restroom.
I didn't get that what?
Okay, when you're traveling and you have to wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh, when you're out of your body.
Does your cord does the cord come back in when your body becomes awake again?
You're
for
reeled
that
in.
break?
Yeah, you're reeled in when it's time for the body to wake up.
This is like when you have to go back in when you have to go to the restroom.
Oh yeah, the body is saying I need attention, so it brings you back in. Yeah.
And the other question is, when you are ready to exit, do you have that innate knowing that it's
they
my
know.
time?
They're ready to go.
Okay.
I would like to say some people have told me sometimes they wake up in the morning and they feel paralyzed and it scares them because they can't move. All it is the connections have not been put back together again, and the soul is entering the body again. You just wait a few minutes and it'll all be hooked back. Sometimes the person wakes up too quickly. Maybe there's a noise or something that wakes them up before they're all the way back in their body. I had one woman said she went to the doctor, he spent $7,500 on sleep tests. And if all it was that she just wasn't hooked back up as she's coming back in the body. These things are simple to understand when you understand how it works. Okay, one behind? Yeah.
You're a mother, have been a nurturing mother, you pass away, and I understand part about going to heaven, following the light. I don't believe that they're up there playing golf and get to live in a beautiful house or anything like that. My thought is that they come back down, that God sends you back down into somebody that needs your help. Like my mom passed away.
Yeah.
I have a sister that is dying of cancer. I just can't imagine my mom just hanging up out there, having a good time, and God just sending her to school, and she's not helping my sister.
How do you know she's not helping her?
Oh, I know she's got to be. That's where she is. That's
Like
where
I
she's
said,
got
sometimes
the allies.
relatives are assigned to come back and take care of the ones who are still
Yeah.
alive
You know?
if they're needed.
Yeah, I would think so too. I just,
But otherwise, they're sitting up there and they're asked, do you want to come back? And they said, oh no, they'll be here in the blink of an eye. Don't worry about it. They know you're coming. So
Really?
they've got their own life to live. I don't know if that makes
Really?
you feel any better or not. but
No.
They know you'll be there eventually.
well, especially, a child, when a parent passes, okay, there's usually a succession that you
Yeah.
expect. And when a younger child dies, is in the...
I have had that many clients come to me that their children have died and they're very upset about it. And during my work, we can contact the part of them that has all of the answers. And always says the same thing. Their contract was finished, they did what they had to do, they left. It affects us, but they knew what they were doing. That soul is never a child's soul, is never a baby's soul. It's been around forever. So it makes a decision. Okay, I'll go in, I'll just live for a few years. Maybe my mother will learn something. Maybe the relatives will learn something. You have to look at it from a different viewpoint. Did you learn anything or not? That's the thing. So I do a lot of counseling with parents, because that's part of my work as a therapist. I do work with these people on their problems, and so I've heard this a lot, and it does help them. I had one woman who was grieving for her sister, and instead of going into a past life, she went to the other side, and she saw her sister walking toward her through this beautiful garden. And as she got up, she said, she was talking to her sister, and she says, "What happened? We thought you were getting well. What happened?" She said, "It was my time." She said, "Let me go. Can't you see how beautiful it is? Live your life." Because it was her plan. But she said, "Can't you see how beautiful it is? Let me go." She said, "I did what I was supposed to do." And you look at it from a different viewpoint like that, it takes a change of where we've been taught. But you can see everybody has their own plan, and your part in it is, how do you react to it? How did it affect you? You learned something or not? You know? Okay, we got just a little bit.
Just one more question I want to ask about something I've been wanting to know for a long time.
This is not an easy subject, I know. I deal with this a lot, yeah?
I've studied this subject a lot too, and I know a lot of the things that you've said, but the one thing I've always questioned is someone that comes in retarded, are they going to be able to, or many things that they come in with real severe ailments or something, are they able to make a big step in that one lifetime? Mm-hmm. Is that what that's about?
Yes, because you make yourself sick. There are more souls in line for the handicapped bodies than for normal bodies. You can see why. Because usually they can pay back more karma in one lifetime than would take them 10 lifetimes to pay back. They're learning a lot, but what are they teaching others? The person who takes care of them, anybody they come in contact with. How do you react when you see a handicapped person? They teach you everybody they come in contact with. And you're learning something from everyone you see. So there are more people in line for the bodies that are handicapped and diseased, because they're learning and they're teaching other people. When I see somebody who in a wheelchair or who is a retarded child, I just think, you chose a hard one this time, didn't you? It's a different way of looking at it. Okay, just a few more here.
There have been accounts written of people who have had near-death experiences that have been very, very negative.
I've never had a negative one.
But, I mean, I have chosen not to read those because I didn't want that in my consciousness.
I have had them say, if the person experiences a negative near-death experience, because that's what they were expecting. From the brainwashing of church and everything, they'll say, you're going to hell, you're not good enough, nothing good can come out of this. They'll go to what they're expecting, but it's not real. So they don't stay there. They've told me that. If that's what you're expecting, you'll see it. But a lot of it does have to do with the brainwashing. And my daughter worked in hospital in intensive care for a long time. And she said the hardest things that she had to witness were these older people dying, and they're saying they're dying in fear because they said, I've been told by the church I'm going to hell because I'm not perfect. And they knew, even though they lived a good life, I'm not perfect. So why should they die in fear just because the church says that's the way it should be? So that's what I mean. You've got to get rid of that fear, because then naturally they're going to see something awful because that's what they've been promised. But you don't stay there.
Well, I never read those.
What?
I chose not to read that type of book because I didn't want that type of book.
Yeah, because there are people that write these kind of things. But I've done enough cases and they've told me time and time again, it doesn't happen. But if you're expecting it, anything you believe is real, you know. Okay.
Yes, I have a true story. A friend of mine, about 2 years ago, she spent about 10 years looking after her mother, who was gradually dying. She had no other one.
It's hard to, I can't understand.
Sorry. Should I? Oh, have it
And
too
put it
close.
down a little bit.
Down here?
It's very distorted, yeah?
Does this sound better?
Up a little bit.
Now?
Yeah.
Now?
Try there, okay.
See, I need help.
I'll see,
Thank
okay.
you. No, it's a good friend of mine, and she had been looking after her mother, who was gradually dying for many years. And I'll just sum it up. Say it took nearly 10 years. After about 9 years, she moved to Oklahoma, and she said her mother got so weak she needed care 24/7, and so on and so on. But she said her mother was gradually dying. She could tell. And the nurses, 2 or 3 times that came in the night, thought she was just about dead, but she came back. And finally, one day, but she knew her mother was very concerned with her, because she was alone. She had no children. She was not married. She was concerned for her daughter, for my friend, Carol Jean. And she knew that her mother didn't want to leave her in this rented house that was full of mold and all this stuff. Her mother didn't want to leave her in a condition where her daughter would suffer. So her mother, one night, she said, I know my mother died. Of course, she had nurses training. She said, my mother's heart stopped. The blood test she gave her, she said, I couldn't bring her back. And she said, I just went on my knees and I prayed to God. And she said, then I went to get some medicine or to cover her up. And she said, I put the sheet over her face, and all of a sudden, mother started breathing. This was after quite some time. So her mother lived another year. And in that time, my friend was able to buy a house, to clear out the mold, to change her life, to be able to prepare to do other work when her mother was gone. And a year later, almost to the day, her mother did pass on, and it was the same day that her father had passed on 15 years before. So she had a choice, apparently.
Okay, at my work, you see what's happened here? Why would they be dying for so many years? Why did they have to have the person taking care of them all those years? Karma. There was karma between the two. It had never been worked out. If it had been worked out sooner, it would have been solved sooner. Because it wasn't, they were hanging on and going on with it, dragging it on much longer than it should have been. There was something there from another life that they were